Joining us now is Cindy Townsend for a look at the perennials, and you, as always, have a wonderful selection for us.
And I get really excited as I was putting the design together. I was got, oh, I love this. I get so excited about all the different perennials and the new stuff and the old stuff and how to put things together and join and marry everything together.
And that's something I like that you've showed us here, how to make a few different combinations. So why don't we start with some of your shade combos?
Yeah, and we'll start with Host of the Year. This is Rainforest Sunrise, and it's got a beautiful gold color, and then it's edged in a darker green blue. And it's going to have some white flowers, little flower spikes during the summertime. So this one's really, really cute, and it's got a good substance to it. So the reason I put these in a pot is I wanted you to see that you can indeed put hostas in a pot and enjoy them in the garden or on the patio where it might be a little bit more shady. And blue mouse ears has been around for a few years, but such a great combination.
It's smaller, so it's going to do really well in a container.
Right, so I kind of put Rainforest Sunrise behind, mouse ears in front. It's going to have little lavender flowers peek up, which is going to be cute. And then chocolate chip ajuga, of course, has been around, but it's a great combination. And this is the flowers. Luckily, we have some flowers blooming of the chocolate chip. So
that's
this
a beautiful ajuga.
Really, really cute. And now let's say you use a patio pot for the hostas and kind of put that together. Maybe around the base of that you could use these little heartthrob violas, which are really cute and have a lot of foliar color.
Yeah, they have a really strong center, but also a lovely flower as well.
Yeah, this is a beautiful little viola flower. And then Tahoe I was pretty struck with. This is an Iberis, and we're all familiar with the creeping phlox and the beauty that they add to the landscape. And not as many people are familiar with Iberis in general. So Tahoe blooms a little bit earlier, has a little bit more elongated bloom, but I just thought this was real pretty to have this kind of snow effect, and then it's evergreen.
Yeah.
So it's great to add into the garden.
Cindy, next to your Iberis, you have a beautiful Corydalis. Tell us about that.
Yeah, Corydalis as a genus is a really great little genus, but it does like the cooler climates. This one is canary feathers, and it does really well in our heat and blooms profusely. And I've seen pots of this put together where you have like 5 of them, and these yellow flower spikes just keep perpetuating.
They're a great way to add, to brighten up a shady area too.
Right, and it's hard to get the yellow in a shady area, so this is one plant that you could use to kind of accent and break things up. You could even put it with your Rainforest Sunrise. Another
way I like to get the yellow in is the variegated foliage of our Solomon seal.
Right, and this one is Perennial of the Year, and rightfully so. It does really well. And look at these little bell-shaped flowers that just kind of hang. Isn't that gorgeous?
That's one of my favorite perennials, so I'm glad it made Perennial of the Year this year.
Well, and it gets nice and full too. It has this kind of almost ferny look to it that I just really love.
And it'll spread out, make a really nice clump for us in the garden.
Absolutely. Now here we don't normally talk about foxglove or digitalis, but this year we've got some really great varieties. This one is out of a Dalmatian series, and it's bred to be well branched, and it blooms the first year. You know, most digitalis will bloom the second year. This one will bloom the first year, and it's already opening up for us and revealing itself. Beautiful purple flowers with like maroon speckles in the throats. So this one is really nice. And this Candy Mountain, this one came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
What I love about this is the flower heads face more up, and so we had Candy Mountain with the bright pinky, purpley pink color to it, and then now we have Snowy Mountain. This one's going to be white. Isn't that great?
Oh, that'll be nice in combination, actually.
Absolutely. And if you want a little bit of flower before your digitalis, put some iris in there. Right here, we're kind of going into a little bit more sun.
Yes.
And actually, full sun would be the Veronicas. And I have to tell you, there's a funny story. I've forgotten, we order so many plants and go through so many plants. I was running through the houses as fast as I could to do something. And I saw this flower cluster that I thought, oh my gosh, what in the world is that? And I walked over there and read the tag, and it was Blue Bomb Veronica. And I thought that was the most unique looking flower, and I forgot we'd even ordered it. So I rushed up and brought that up, and then lo and behold, they came out with a pink bomb. And what's cool about it is the flower cluster starts from the center of the stem like this little ball. And so then you have all these little flower spikes almost in a ball shape, kind of, you know, like a bomb.
The blue bomb stays real compact. It's quite unique.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Well, and then a couple years later, they've come out with this purple explosion, and the flower spikes still come from that central location, that world central location, but the flower spikes are perpetuating on out, and then they start blooming from the bottom up, and so it's just like this explosion of color.
Very good. I'm excited to see that one.
Well, and I've seen they've got a bicolored one coming out, and there's also pink. So this could be quite a mix just with the Veronicas. Then I just thought this was really cool, a garden phlox. This one is called Fireworks, and it's got that tie-dye. So if you're into tie-dye, hippie-ish things, then you're probably going to want fireworks in your garden. Garden phlox, remember, need to have good air circulation and be in an area. Don't put it right up next to the fence where it doesn't get a lot of good air. Let the movement happen.
You have so your garden phlox is going to get up tall. You also have some hollyhocks back there, which I usually think of as really tall, but these are a dwarf, right?
Yeah, and they're beautiful. Actually, when these start blooming on the bench, we had the purple and the yellow last year, and almost as soon as they started blooming, people started snatching them up because they've got a really beautiful ruffled flower and a lot of flower count up the spikes. But this one only gets like 3 feet tall.
Okay.
So you don't have to have that enormous space for it. And again, it blooms off the first year. It's a celebrity series, so we've got that in purple, we've got it in red, and that's great for hummingbirds. If you've got a hummingbird situation, you know, the hummingbirds like to be a little bit higher up. 3 feet isn't real high, but it's higher than on the ground, and it helps, they feel safer if they can be a little bit higher up. So this would be good if you love hummingbirds. And then white is always a good color to change. So like, let's say you have red over here and purple over here, then you would maybe want to put some white in the middle to help change it out a
I
little
like
bit.
to use white to let your eye rest as you move down the garden.
Exactly. And it has a lot of appeal to it in the evening. So like, let's say you're working all day and you come home, the white shows up a little bit better. Now, if we're going to talk about attracting hummingbirds, then we have to go straight to the agastache.
Absolutely.
Which is hummingbird mint. And you know, we've got Golden Jubilee, which was in Oklahoma proven.
Yes.
And it's got that beautiful yellow color to it, which kind of helps transition your garden a little bit. And then it gets purple flowers.
Nice purple flowers. You have the new Bolero, which has purple foliage, so we get that purple color even earlier.
Wouldn't it be beautiful to have those two kind of side by side in the garden? And then the neat thing about Bolero, if you can see the underside, this is how it comes out of dormancy. You see this little cluster of purple, and then as it gets to the point of blooming, you see more green in the foliage, and then you have purple flowers once again. So this one's really gorgeous. And for us OSU people, we have Tango, because we're exciting people. And we've got that
You
brilliant...
have to have good, brilliant orange.
So, and orange actually works really well with purples. So we've got this light, you know, and the Tango is clusters. So you'll see the Tango kind of like a cloud of tubular flowers. Then if you mix that with something like Blue Boa, which is new this year, it's going to have a thicker stem of flowers, and that it's a little bit shorter than the Tango, so you can put that right with the Tango and have the purples and oranges and have a cloud backdrop for these spikes.
That'll be
So
good.
That
Nice
would be really cool.
combination.
And of course, it's in the mint family, so it smells good. They bloom from late spring, early summer, all the way into fall. So agastache really is a garden must-have, you know, to put somewhere in your garden.
You have some whirling butterflies in here, and I like to use these mixed in with other perennials because they have those long stems. It looks like you have flowers coming out of everywhere.
And they look like they're dancing. I
Yeah.
mean, they're beautiful. And here is kind of a perky pink, which is kind of perky. I like it. It's got the red foliage, so it gives us contrast that way, and a beautiful flower. Well, here's Rosie Jane, and Rosie Jane is bicolored. And the neat thing about Rosie Jane is her flower is more white, then you have her little stamens, and then she's etched in pink. It's going to be
Very
beautiful.
good. I haven't seen a bicolor quite like that yet.
This is the first that we've ever had one. And this is a different growth habit from the Rosie Jane is going to be the Gaudi Red, which I don't think is gaudy at all. But we're going to have this nice red foliage and an even darker pink flower. Now the neat thing about this one is it's kind of shorter.
Yeah,
so
it's much more compact.
than these other two that we've been looking at. So it'll have a different place or a different job in the garden for you, but it's still going to have these dancing effect, which I really like.
And of course, for that same effect, we have the butterfly blue scabiosa that also just kind of weaves and floats in the air.
Well, and the thing that I love about the scabiosa and why I bring it into countless segments is it blooms so profusely. It really is in the top, let's say 2 or 3 for perennials that bloom in the garden. And then it's got so many uses to it, and I love the intensity of color. So this is one that I would stagger throughout.
Yeah.
Any part of your shady areas, you can put a clump here and clump here and clump there. So, and I love the way this would mix with your Santolina, actually. and we're more familiar with the gray Centilena.
Yeah, it's used quite a lot, but we have these other colors available. A little bit different growth habit too.
Right.
A little more compact.
A little bit more compact, a little bit tighter. This one is Lemon Fizz, and Lemon Fizz is actually a sport from the Virens. It's a Centilena Virens, and then we've got this yellow called Lemon Fizz, and it's even tighter than the normal Virens. The beauty behind this one, when it first came out and when they were first presenting it, they were just presenting the gold of it. Well, we've had it planted and it does kind of revert a little bit, but what it does is just add a little bit of multicoloredness to that situation, which is kind of like a calico. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that it picks up that darker green throughout the golds.
It helps kind of set off that gold a little more.
It does. And then if you really want to take it a step further, then you can bring something like this chocolate chip sedum into the game and kind of put that maybe more in front because it's a lower sedum and it has a more clustered effect. And this one's really beautiful, nice thick leaf to it. And I think just the foliage and the leaf texture is a great contrast.
And the purple with the golden, actually, we talked about the purples and yellow or purple and orange, how nicely they
work
contrast.
together. Yeah, this is a nice little combination. Now we can talk about the Coreopsis a little bit. Those are our garden favorite, but they've really worked to hybridize those and manipulate those and make them better for the garden.
There's been so many new varieties out lately, and I see you brought out some of the Big Bang series. We've used those.
Yeah, and there's several different
garden.
varieties of the Big Bang series, and they're breeding that for perpetual flower bloom, so they're more sterile, and they've got good branching, good disease resistance, and the flower size on some of the Big Bang series can reach 3 inches in diameter, which is kind of amazing for a Coreopsis.
Yeah, they're really impressive. So you have a new one in that series?
Yeah, Red Shift is the one we've had for several years, and it is dynamic. You know, we were talking about the tie-dye color in the garden phlox. The Red Shift changes color. It's more yellow in the summertime, and then as the temperatures get cooler, it starts tie-dyeing the red through and streaking the red through, which is really phenomenal.
Really impressive.
This one stays red. This one's Mercury Rising, and I mean, the flower size on this is just going to be phenomenal, kind of like a cosmos. And then it just will keep perpetuating. I know you guys said you trialed it last year. And
it did very well. Kept blooming, and it has really clean foliage too. Very beautiful foliage.
And this is one that I think I would use where they want a lot of color and not use a lot of work, you know, and try to plant in annuals. I think I would definitely go in with this Mercury Rising. And I can't resist.
Tweety. What a great name. And look at that beautiful foliage.
It is.
That's a little bit like Moonbeam.
Yeah, well, it's actually a sport from Moonbeam,
Okay.
improvement over Moonbeam, and the name of it, Tweety. And then Jethro Tull we've had around for a few years. It's got the fluted flowers, which are beautiful. But a new one for us this year, I thought it was a marigold when I saw it in the catalog. I was like, what is that doing there? And figured out it was a Coreopsis. And the neat thing about this one is it's been starting to bloom, but as fast as it's been blooming, people have been snatching it off the
So really exciting blossoms for us.
Exactly. So this one is called Golden Ball, and I think I would go ahead and plant this and see how well it does in your garden.
Cindy, in the back here you have an absolutely gorgeous rose.
This one is called Distant Drums. And the beauty behind this one, what struck me about this one is the buds are an intense color and a bicoloredness in the buds.
Yeah.
And then they change and start lightening up, and then before you know it, they're opening up to this beautiful bicolored and almost an antique-y look to
it does, with those sort of salmon color on the inside. And look how it shifts again.
Isn't that amazing? But the bud count in and of itself is beautiful, and it's called Distant Drums, and I just love it.
Well, thank you so much, Cindy.
Thank you, Kim.